One of the digital human projects that we've worked on at the VEC is the Mary Seacole project. So we did some work with St George's Hall, looking at digital heritage and how these types of avatars can be used to tell stories about historical figures. There are ties to the city with Mary Seacole. She was a nurse during the Crimean War, and there's a lot of celebration around her life and her good deeds that she did during a nursing career. So we wanted a way to be able to tell her story. The idea initially came as a research piece. We've seen that graphics were now at a point where you've got almost ultra realism. With the use of artificial intelligence, we can recreate digital characters of people. So we have technology to scan people, we have photogrammetry techniques, which will allow us to get a realistic representation of a person, and then we can recreate these digital avatars, and we can even use machine learning to understand how the person would speak, what their accent would be, what the voice would sound like, and you can build all these things together to make a solution for great storytelling.
When I just started with Mary Seacole, I have been handed an application which had a few dialogue choices that could be chosen from. So you had some pre-recorded voice lines and you could play any dialogue depending on the question that you picked. However, with the application that I have developed, you can now ask Mary just about anything you want. Thanks to her having access to a historic database and the fact that she can freely look through this information and then process it and use it to generate a response with a language model, you can ask her any question and be sure that she will respond in an accurate way.
We managed to create the digital human using very little information. There was only a couple of pictures that existed, and then we were also able to find enough information to create a knowledge base, the ability to ask that digital human a number of questions. And I think the other thing is that it's very engaging for certain demographics. If you said you can have a conversation with Mary Seacole where they're going to get an answer back, which then might spark another question, and then you're getting an evolving narrative. With the large language models, it allows you to really sort of go more in depth.
In my traditional medicine practice, I used a variety of herbs.
If you've got a physical asset, you can pick it up, you can look at it, you can read about it. But storytelling is how a lot of the information is passed from one generation to another, and they're intangible assets. What digital humans can do is allow a way for you to access that kind of information in a different way.